Hi, I'm Nishi from the Marathon Mates. Are you looking for something different to run? Are you looking for a new destination to go to for a runcation? Are you looking for something a little bit quirky, yet still fun to run? On this episode, we are talking about those races you've never heard of, but should run anyway. We're going to have fun as we discuss these races and tell you all about the race experience from the expo to the finish line and everything in between. And in addition, we may also throw in some travel tips when in those destinations. We are the only podcast in the world with 4 7-star world marathon major finishes. We have the experience and the knowledge and definitely know a thing or two about running around the world. This is the Flying Runner podcast. Are you ready to run? Let's go! Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Flying Runner. I'm Lucia from the Marathon Mates, and this is episode 115. We've run the majors and most of the big races around Australia, so it's only natural we start looking for other races to run. There are literally hundreds of thousands of races around the world of varying distances. Whilst we know about the big ones, tonight we're going to talk about the fun yet quirky ones and different races. And each of us have done our research and found races that we've never heard of before. And tonight we're going to discuss these races as well as the destinations. It should be another fun episode. But before we do any of that, let me introduce you to my Marathon Mates co-hosts tonight, Tony, Tara, and Tim. Guys, how's everyone been and how's everyone's week been? I'm going to start off with Team Ellis first.
Excellent. So I'll go for Team Ellis because Tim doesn't run anymore. He's decided he's retired during the week and sleeps in. No, that's not true. He's just being lazy after the Sydney Marathon and has done nothing. So I at least will get out and go for a walk with my friends. Haven't been running much, but I have been going out walking. And I have also been getting on the stationary spin bike at home. So I'm trying to do a bit of cross training and give the body a bit of a break from all the running that I have been doing. We did a very easy park run on Saturday at North Lakes Park Run. Very nice. There was some swans with their little baby cygnets and got to catch up with a few friends as well. North Lakes is just 3 loops around a lake, so it's a bit of a loopy course, but it's quite nice. And Sunday I did an easy 12 Ks, and Tim decided that he will run 15 Ks. Patrick joined him, so Tim and Patrick did 15 Ks together.
Not exactly lazy ass then, is it?
Well, that's your first run. Come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Like you've done a park run and a
It's all I
15K
need.
run.
Yeah, it sounds like he was running, Tara. So
I know, but I like to give him a hard time. Ask him what he's doing in the mornings instead of walking or running, Tony.
I don't need to know, knowing the marathon that he's talking about today. So
Hey, he lives down the coast, so anyway, let's hear about your week, Tony.
Sharon and I are officially in nursing sessions to Amsterdam. So we're nursing ourselves to Amsterdam. The plan was for me to run 15 at the Amsterdam cutoff pace on Saturday, and then back up and run the bridge to Brisbane. Sharon did 10K on Saturday. So the 15K for me was good. I made it in plenty of time, so I was pretty happy with that. Sharon did her 10K, still a little bit over, but we know where we're at. And then we set the alarm for the bridge to Brisbane, looked at each other and went back to bed. So the bridge to Brisbane did not happen on Sunday. on Sunday. It looked a nice day for those that did it. So if you did the bridge to Brisbane on the weekend, let us know in the comments or send us a message how good it was or how bad it was, or give us your thoughts. But yeah, so we didn't run on Sunday, but we did have a couple of beers over lunch. And as we do on the odd occasion, we farewelled some friends who were traveling overseas to go run a certain marathon. I think you've got that in the show notes next, so I won't mention names, but it was good to catch up as the marathon mates and have a couple of beers and a nice steak sandwich.
Do love a good steak sandwich. So I was in Kuala Lumpur for work last week for a few days, so I managed to get some runs in, but I stuck to the hotel gym because I wasn't familiar with the area, and I was running like at 6 o'clock in the morning and it was still dark. So I thought I'm just going to place, not that I felt unsafe, but I just didn't know the area. So first time I've run on treadmills in I don't know how long. It was interesting. Interesting to see how busy the gym was at 6 o'clock in the morning at a hotel. I do have to say that. And then I went for my longest run post Sydney, which was a grand total of 10.5 meters. So yeah, happy with the. Sorry,
I thought it was kilometers. I thought you ran kilometers,
not
sorry.
Meters. Sorry, kilometers. Bloody hell, what did I say? 10.5 meters. God, 10.5 k's. Jeez.
That's not what your Strava said Ks, not meters. So
you're thinking, what planet is she on? So
it's not real unless it's on Strava.
Exactly. So still struggling a bit post Sydney in terms of getting the body into it, but I was happy with how I went on Sunday. So onwards and upwards from here, and to start planning for 2026, which should be fun. Now, you did mention that I had a note about apparently there's a race happening this weekend, which is another major. So we just wanted to wish everyone running Berlin this weekend all the best of luck. So last week on the show, the guys mentioned that Kay, Jed, Simon, Sharon, Ross, and Reese were all doing Berlin, but they failed to mention, I'll leave them alone for 1 week and they failed to do something. And they failed to mention that their mate Steve will be there as well, and Jen Kellett will also be racing it as well. So good luck to everyone. Enjoy Berlin. Not my favourite major, but I've got reasons for that, but the atmosphere is still great.
I love Berlin. Berlin was great.
No, I did it for my 40th, so it was my 40th on the Saturday, and then the marathon was on the Sunday. So I had a great time, but just not on race day.
So you did it for your 40th, but it's your birthday today, and you're only 21, so you couldn't have possibly have done Berlin yet. So happy birthday, Lucia!
Yes, it is Lucia's birthday. Happy birthday, Lucia!
Thank you. It's tempted in buying another pair of shoes as a present to myself. So my mother has already said words to me about that, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. Now, thanks, guys. Now it's time for that week where we talk about the news. Tim, what's been happening around the world this week?
Alrighty, I have lots of news tonight, so I'm going to go quickly through it. The biggish news that happened during the week that took me by surprise, and I'm pretty sure it took you guys by surprise, was that both Sifan Hassan and Eliud Kipchoge announced during the week, just 2 months after completing the Sydney Marathon, they're both going to line up to run the New York Marathon in November. Both Hassan and Kipchoge have never run this race before, and Kipchoge said, running the TCS New York City Marathon has been a long-standing goal of mine. I'm honoured to join the tens of thousands of runners who will run through the 5 boroughs in November. I look forward to the city's energy, its passionate running community, and the challenge of the iconic course. In addition, Hassan has said that the TCS New York City Marathon is legendary, and I'm thrilled to take on another Abbott World Marathon major. I love a challenge and am ready to test myself against the world's best athletes. So a 2 months turnaround, and these guys are back at it, going at it. I guess the hills of Sydney have probably hardened them up a little bit. Of course, Sydney, the training run for New York City. But the exciting thing of this, guys, is that finally Eliud Kipchoge will receive his 6-star medal in New York City if he completes the race. And he'll be able to join the
Us.
4 of us legends in the 6-star club, and he'll be a 7-star runner as well. So that's pretty good news for New York, and I think that just improves the field a little bit there, guys. What do you reckon?
I can't believe it's taken him this long to get his 6-star, to be honest. That was because I'd heard rumors that he was maybe going to run it, so I did have some insider info, but I didn't know about Hassan. So it's going to be interesting to see this. Like, no doubt, with New York being New York, the crowds will come out, but it'll be interesting to see how much more they come out.
He was interviewed on Set the Pace, the New York Roadrunners podcast, and it was just so refreshing to hear him talk about the 6-star medal. And that's his, he is so looking forward to getting the 6-star medal. And he was actually talking to the guy that runs it is the president of the New York Roadrunners, who does the podcast. And Elliot said it'd be really fantastic to get a photo of all 6-star finishes together. And so they're now organising that. So just to hear his level of excitement in getting the 6-star is actually quite, it's cool. It's cool. So I think he's not there to win it. He's there to run the race and enjoy it, I think. So just enjoy his time. So
and make the coin on the side. That would be his 3rd major marathon this year, and it'll be Safan's. I think Safan's 3rd major as well. At the beginning of the year, she said she might run 4 marathons in the year. I'm pretty sure this will be her 3rd, though. So I don't think she'll sneak another one in between New York and the end of the year. But
which one did Elliot run early?
London.
Oh, yeah, he did too. Yeah.
London, Sydney, and now New York. So, and Safan's the same. London, Sydney, and New York. So it'll be interesting. But anyway, keeping things moving along this week, the Boston 2026 marathon registrations closed up. And it's always a stressathon out there for people who have put their registrations in, especially those who are on the cusp of the qualifying times. So good luck to all of our listeners who have submitted times and registrations for next year. We know it's a very stressful time of year, but hey, guess what? If you don't get into Boston and you don't qualify, sign up for the Sydney Marathon ballot, which for next year opens next week on the 24th of September at 10 a.m. and will close on 17th of October at midnight, Australian Eastern Summer Time.
And can I just add in, Tim, sorry, and can I just add in for everyone, don't enter the ballot on the 24th of September at 10 a.m. It's open for nearly 3 weeks, so there's ample time to register. It's not first in improves your chances, so don't panic if you can't get through on the first day, because I think after how successful it was this year, the ballot numbers are only going to be higher for next year, I think.
Yeah. So I guess I'm guessing, I'm just putting it out there, it would be Lucia and Tony and Sharon putting their hands up for it next year. Tara and I won't be, but would I be right in saying that, Tony?
I think I will be putting in for the ballot. I don't know about Sharon at this stage. And, if I get in, I get in. If I don't, well, I don't. So it's one of those things. I think because it's our major, I want to be in with a shot every year. But put it this way, it's not part of my plans for next year, but who knows?
Yeah.
And for me, it's my cheapest marathon to do, so how can I not?
It's like us doing Brisbane Marathon, so yes.
Yeah, it's just a stroll down the road for you, Lucia. It's not far at all.
Well, not a stroll. I have to get the train and then the metro to the start, but yeah.
And any thoughts, guys, on the Boston qualifying time? I'm guessing none of us put a registration in this week for Boston.
I think it's going to be interesting when they announce the buffer. I think that's going to be the interesting part to then hear people complain. Like, it's kind of like the Boston cutoff time. Sorry, the Boston buffer is up there with the jacket release. and
Yep.
the Disney snack boxes, all the controversy it can cause.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. I think we'll just wait and see, and it'll be 5 or 7 minutes extra, but we'll wait and see what it is. And good luck to everyone who's entered it. And the last couple of bits of news I've got here is it's World Athletics Championship time. And I love track and field and road racing, and all combined in one big massive event. And this year, the World Athletics have been held in Tokyo, the World Athletics Championships. The marathons have been run and done, and both the women's and the men's marathons were extremely close finishes. In the women's marathon, Kenya's Perez Chepchirchir claimed gold in the marathon, out sprinting Ethiopia's Strangest Asafa in the thrilling homestretch battle. After 42 kilometers on the streets of Tokyo, Chepchirchir and Asafa entered the national stadium in Japan, shoulder to shoulder, setting up a dramatic showdown for the title. Asafa surged into the lead on the back straight of the track because they have to do a full complete circuit of the 400-meter track. So Asafa surged to the lead, but Chepchirchir responded with yet another kick in the final 100 meters, ultimately pipping Asafa, clocking a 2-second win over her, over the Ethiopian from Strangest Asafa. So the top three were Perez Chepchirchir in 2 hours 24, Strangest Asafa also in 2 hours 24, and Julia Patonine from Uruguay in 2 hours 27. For the Aussie women that raced, Vanessa Wilson was the number one Australian woman. She came 38th overall in a time of 2 hours 39. Sarah Klein came 42nd overall in 2 hours 41. And Tara Palm came 48th overall in a time of 2 hours 44. Now, the times are a bit slower. You need to remember that they're racing in a Tokyo summer at the moment. It is hot and it is humid as well over there. And it just shows Chepchirchir really loves Tokyo because she is the Tokyo 2021 Olympic champion. And I think she's also won the Tokyo Marathon before as well. So she really loves racing in Japan. But the men's marathon was even more thrilling. If we had a 2-second finish in the women's marathon this morning, Monday morning, we had the men's marathon run and done, and it was a dead heat for time at the finish. It was a sprint finish again, and we had Simbu from Tanzania and we had Petros from Germany, and it was literally a photo finish on the finish line. If you haven't seen it yet, go out there and try and look for the footage of it because it is an absolute stunning last lap around the stadium. There were 3 athletes there vying for it, and Alphonse Felix Simbu from Tanzania got the gold medal from Amal Petros from Germany, and just 5 seconds behind the first 2 place getters was Ilias. I don't know how to say this name. Ayoani. He's got every vowel apart from E in his name. And he's from Italy. So, Lucia, I don't know how you pronounce that. You probably would know how to do it.
Go on, hang on.
Aouani.
Oh, God, no. I'm not even going to try.
Ayoani. I'll just do that. Ayoani.
Yeah. Sounds good.
From the Aussies' point of view, Tim Vincent came 44th overall in a time of 2 hours and 20 best, 2 hours 20, which was a season best time for him. And Liam Bowden came 57th overall in a time of 2 hours 24. So pretty big efforts today. And I don't know what your guys' thoughts were on both the men's and the women's marathon finishes, but they were pretty epic. You don't see those sort of close finishes very often.
It was a very good sprint finish there at the end for the men's. I was watching it and it was very cutthroat. So pretty amazing to watch them run around that track on the stadium.
And who would think that they would still have all that energy running in that heat right at the end? That's just absolutely fascinating.
I'd love to know what that final lap time was. I haven't looked at it yet, but the lap time would have been phenomenal.
But even, just the women's race, and they changed lead a couple of times around that last lap. So it was amazing. So, very lightweight on names, Button. And I guess this is what we're always going to find out now in World Championship years, because there's obviously more money involved in running the majors than what there is in running the World Championship. So, but yeah, great
100%.
racing.
Yeah. All right, and that's the news this week, Lucia.
Excellent. Thanks, Tim. All right, runners, it's time to talk about the races we've never heard of but want to run. Now, just before we get started, Tim gave us homework and we couldn't upset the teacher. So we had to, and Tim's ask was we had to find a unique one, a run that's unheard of, that's either quirky or off the beaten track or just not that well known. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So with this in mind, what we're going to do tonight is each of us are going to talk about the races we've found, and we might just add in things here and there. So, Tony, I'm going to hand over to you first.
Thank you. And I think I found my perfect race weekend, by the way, with this one. So this is a big shout out to our good friend Terry, and because it's all about tutti frutti beers. This event that I'm going to talk about is called the IPA 10K. I mean, next year I'm going to focus a lot more on just running 10Ks. I've got a couple of little goals in my mind that I want to achieve with that. But the IPA 10K just leaped out at me when I started looking at quirky ones. It's now combined with the Hello Wine Half Marathon. Oh, I love it. The Hello Wine Half Marathon. And it's running beer and lots of fun in Sonoma County. Now, Sonoma County is just north of San Francisco. So it's a renowned winery, craft brew, really cool little place. You still got time to register too, because it takes place on Saturday, November 1, 2025 in a place called Sebastopol in California. The races start early. The half marathon's at 7:30, then the 10K, the 3K, and finally the day wraps up with the beer mile relays. So the partying goes on all day, right? So what I love about this is that even though every race, so the 3K, the half, and the 10 have all got a different course, they all finish back at the bar, what they call the Barlow, which is a hip open air marketplace in Sebastopol, filled with, you guessed it, breweries, cideries, wineries, distilleries, and there's also some food spots. So it's not a mega race. The half marathon's capped at about 700 runners. The 10K and the 3K usually get a couple of hundred each. And with the beer mile and the festival goers, the whole weekend draws 1,000 to 1,500 participants. So it sounds like it's just a nice little event where you get to know people pretty well. The cost. Now, sorry, let's talk about the expo first. The expo is, you guessed it, held in a brewery. So it's the expo is at the Laguna Tusk Brewery, where you pick up your bib, you pick up your race shirt, you test the samples from. I'm not making this up. You get product samples. You also can then sit in the beer garden and just enjoy some beer or some wine or some cider. The cost, the half marathon is $154.70. The 10Ks, and this is US dollars, of course. The 10K is 91, the 3K is 59, and the beer mile relay, which is a two-person race, is 149.40. So let's talk about this. So details of all events. Here we go. And when I did this, I did it with a slant of not just the run, but the drink, right? So the Halloween half marathon is described as a scenic 13.1 miles. Finishers are rewarded not only with medals, but also post-run pause at the festival. So you can understand why it's probably a little bit more expensive than what you'd expect. The IPA 10K, flat and fun, the marquee race. They do a pre-race beer toast, and a pint is waiting for you afterwards. Terry, it is a fruity tooty beer, so it's an IPA 10K. So none of your 4X. It's not called the 4X Gold 10K. The IPA 3K, short and family friendly, as you can get with an IPA race. You'll still get access to the festival with your bib, meaning your short run can quickly turn into a long day of tasting. The beer mile and relays make the crown jewel of running with a brew. 4 beers in 1 mile if you go solo, or you can split it into relays. It's a 12-ounce pour. Chug it, run a lap, repeat. So on the festival grounds, live music, food trucks, dozens of tasting tents. Your bib and pass usually includes unlimited 2 to 4 ounce pours from craft breweries, wineries, and cideries. And just so you also know, there is a wagging tails and costume run as well. So there's fun categories so you can run with your dog. Why would you do it? It's scenic courses through vineyards and countryside. There's a big variety of events. It's unique. I think this is just sounds ideal. There's a built-in party atmosphere. And prior to the evening events, because of an evening, once you've run and drunk all day, they're then going to have an award ceremony. And there is a costume event. So the best dressed costume wins prizes. So you get a chance not just to win at the race, but you get a chance to win just wearing a costume. So why should you do it? It's a destination. It's a weekend. It's a rare event where if you're really lucky, you might get a PR on the course, but you'll certainly get a PR in other ways. Reward yourself with world-class beer, cider. And Sonoma's great countryside. It's beautiful up there. So how much beer? I also asked ChatGTP the question, how much beer would you drink over the weekend? And it's come back with this. And it says it's slightly dangerous if you're not pacing yourself. So pre-race toast is a pint. So the 10K pre-race toast is a pint. The beer mile, you're drinking 4 beers solo, 2 beers in a 2-person team. The Brewfest, Winefest, unlimited tasting wristband, so easily a dozen or more 2 to 4 ounce pours if you're committed. Post-race pints, most races hand you a banana. Here you'll be handed a pint glass. Yes. And at the Barlow, as I've said, you're surrounded by breweries and wineries. So if you lean in all the way, I reckon you're having at least 10 to 15 beers over the course of the weekend in between getting some runs. So it's equal parts serious and a festival of beer. So it's for those runners who love their tutti frutti beers, Terry, who love craft beers as much as their PRs. So that's my race.
That is the perfect piss up weekend with a little bit of running, I reckon.
Yeah, the IPA 10K. I'm coming.
Yeah.
That sounds like an absolute corker of event. And who knows, might just have to put it on the calendar. Now, Tara, how are you going to top that?
Well, of course, we all know mine's going to be about animals, isn't it? So, of course, mine's going to be called, the one that I really want to do is called Born to Run Adventure Racing. Now, it's not actually a marathon. You can do 50Ks or 100Ks with this, but it's an endurance race. So it's a multi-day race, but instead of just pounding the trails by yourself, you've got miniature horses with you. So they can either supply the miniature horses for you, which are all vet checked, or you can supply your own miniature horses. You have 2 miniature horses. So they only run 25Ks each day, so you're not overworking them. But this is called the Great Northern Gallop, and it's the world's longest and only miniature horse race, and it's held at 90 Mile Beach in the Bay of Islands in the North Island of New Zealand. So organisers actually prioritise the welfare of the miniature ponies, and they create exciting adventures with them as well. So you are actually fundraising while doing this. So the money that you put in for the race fundraisers for the neglect of the miniature ponies. So the reason that this race actually became part of it is because they had a little pony called Opie, and he was the inspiration for the race. He arrived at the rescue after being tied to a tree for several years. He was badly behaved, overweight, and he was an angry tyrant. And now I've owned Shetland ponies, and they are miserable animals at the best of times if you don't treat them right. But this poor little guy was really, really angry, and he's now one of their star racers. So he's actually come first at the finish line in 2004 after having like lots of therapy and all of that. So that's really exciting. But with this, they all the races that they have, all the horses that they have on their team are all rescues. So they're all rescue horses that they've actually rehabilitated and are now using for this thing. So they're actually really healthy, happy, and these little miniature ponies and miniature horses actually really do like to run. So, and they're vet checked, so I'm okay with it. So you can do it as a team.
Sorry, Tara,
Yep.
just quickly, you're running on beside the horse. You're not on the horse.
You're not riding the horse. It's like having a dog beside you. You're definitely not riding the horse. So you can put your stuff on them, like as a little pack horse. Like they took the inspiration from the burros in Mexico. You know how they take them up and down the hills. But you can do it as a team or an individual. And they've got a new event just recently. I think next year they start this one, and it's a 50K event. So you can do it over 2 days, or you can do a 4-day 100K event. So it's only 25 Ks a day. You've got like 6 hours to do it in, so you can walk it. You don't even have to run it. And it's through the wilderness of New Zealand. So you're going through the 90-mile beach and through the trails of Bay of Islands. It's held at Easter time, so you can have a very nice little Easter holiday at the same time there. And they also have fun runs, like individual fun runs just on the day for if you want to do like a 5K run for the kids or something like that. They just do little runs as well, which is good. Now, the good thing about this is you don't even need to have experience with horses. So if it's something that you think, oh, I just want to do this because it sounds like fun, you don't have to have any horse experience. So they've got lots of people out on course that are experienced with horses. They will look after you. They've got vets all the way along. So your horse gets regular vet checks every few, I think it's every 10 kilometres. I'll have to check that. Yes, they do get regular vet checks where they actually go through their paces and everything with the vets, not just at the end of each day, it's throughout the race as well. And if you've got your own little miniature ponies, they encourage that as well. They just ask that they be trained first. And that means like doing, 3 months of training like you would for yourself. Don't just ignore your pony. If you're going to take it out there, make sure you train with that as well. They are expensive, but it's an experience, right? So, and what you get for your full event package, so this is your 100K event, it's $1,800, but you hire 2 miniature ponies, you get catering, and you get the accommodation. So your accommodation, all your food, and your ponies are included for that. And the money that you raise, the money that you put in for, is actually going towards the miniature pony rescue. So I think it's pretty good. If you want to bring your own miniature ponies, it's only $1,200. And if you want to do a fully self-supported package where you don't go with the catering and the accommodation and you just want to have your own horse, it's only $800. So that's not too bad. That includes your insurance and everything like that.
Tara, sorry, can I just ask a question? If you're bringing your own pony and you have to train the pony, does it have to do a pre-week?
Of course it has to do a pre-week. Oh, that's so funny.
It's just week 1 of the training program.
For the horse.
Couldn't resist.
Oh, the poor horses. So their horses that they have, they train them for at least 3 months leading up to the event. They must be able to run 25 Ks a day without breaking a sweat. So that's pretty good. They make sure that all the horses are of good temperament, so you can handle them, you can pick up their feet, you can put stuff on their back, and they must be able to perform like a human athlete would, otherwise they don't go into the race. So they're very, very particular with making sure that all the animals are treated properly. So what else have I got there? We've got that they will not accept any animals that are under 3 years of age. They will not accept any animals that are over 20 years of age. So that's just make sure that the right ages and everything. And they also have to make sure that there's no stallions, so they can have geldings, and no pregnant mares or colts as well. There's a vet on standby, as I said, at all times to check and treat any horses. So some of the very frequently asked questions that these guys get: I know nothing about horses. Can I still take part? Absolutely. Borrow one of our race team is what they say. And they class a miniature horse or a miniature pony anything that is under 103 centimetres tall. So they don't care if it's a miniature horse, miniature pony. They're just happy with it to be under that size. The other thing is that they said, can you enter with a friend? So they offer team entry. So if you've got a friend who's like, oh, I'd like to do that, but I'm not sure about holding the horse, but I'm happy to be with it. One person can hold the horse and the other person can run beside, and that's good. So the longest, as I said, the longest distance they do every day is 25 kilometres, and that's about 5 kilometres an hour if you want to walk it for their cut-off time. So 5 to 6 hours of walking, nice and easy. There's not much else to it. It's really in a beautiful part of the world. So the horses get to stay with you the whole entire time. It's just a bit of fun to enjoy. And the horses carry all your bits and pieces for you, so you don't even need your water pack. So, you've got it all sorted. It's like gels, yep, sorted. They're right beside you. Perfect race for me. Animals and running.
Does the horse get a medal or a T-shirt at the end of it?
Well, I can't see anything there about medals, and I can't see anything about medals for humans. But you know what? I'll be willing to give up race bling to do this race. So
when are we doing it, Tara?
It's at Easter time every year, Tim. So have we got anything for Easter next year?
No, not yet. we might have to book something quickly.
Otherwise, you're doing a 100K run with me with a horse.
No.
But it does sound very interesting, and the fact that they're so caring for the animals as well and giving back to the animals as well, I think that's absolutely great. And Tara, I'm not surprised your choice had something to do with animals. Now, Tim, I'm going to pass it over to you, and I don't know which way you're going to go.
Well, you're not going to even say it. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to be talking about the Dicksathon. Now, Dicksathon is a race held in Seattle, and this year it's been held on the 18th of October. And what is it all about? So it is about running a route around Seattle that circles the 5 Dick's Drive-In locations. So what is a Dick's Drive-In? A Dick's Drive-In is a burger chain that has been founded by Dick Spady back in 1954, and they're a drive-in burger joint. The purpose of the chain was to offer fast, affordable, high-quality food, and essentially the menu has barely changed in the past 70-plus years at Dick's. It's one of those institutions, and it's one of those old-school fast food chains in the US as well. So what do they offer? They offer a full marathon. Actually, you could almost say it's an ultra marathon because it's 26.3 miles. So it's an extra 0.1 of a mile longer than a marathon distance. But they call it a marathon, and that's the full Dicksathon. And in that, you have to visit all 5 Dick's drive-in restaurants. They have a half Dicks race, which is a 14.5-mile race. I don't know how that's half of 26.3, but anyway, it is. And then they have a shorter victory lap race, which is 3.9 miles. And basically, each of those races, there's less inclusive items in them. So if you're registering, it will cost $135 US to do the marathon. It'll cost $60 US to do the victory lap. The half is also the same price at $135. So if you're going to do the half, you may as well do the full, right? Now, what makes this one special, apart from the fact that you get a bib and a T-shirt and some vouchers for menu items and aid stations with water and electrolytes and all sorts of other things, is this one is special because as you run to each of the Dick's drive-in burger restaurants, you must then eat one of the 5 menu items that they have. There's 3 burgers, fries, and a milkshake that you must eat over the course of your marathon. So the choice is what order do you have them in? Do you have a burger first at the first drive-in? Do you then have the fries? Then do you go for another burger? Then do you go for the milkshake? And then do you go for the final burger to finish off? I leave that up to you. But there is some logistics in it to make sure that it's just not only a physical exercise, but it's also, as they say, it's a mental challenge and gastrointestinal challenge that is eating while running. It's part of the fun, as they say. Yes, there are hills on the course and it is road running, and to expect a mix of running and frequent stops and eating breaks. I think the frequent stops might be for the toilets. Timing is dependent heavily on your walking versus running versus eating pace, so plan accordingly. The weather is mid-October in Seattle, so it's possibly cool, possibly rainy, so you need to be prepared. And it is a purpose charity run. It's actually called the Ian Cox Memorial Dicksathon Run. And Ian Cox was a former mountaineer who passed away in the mountains a little while ago after he initiated this event. So they raise funds to support the Mountaineers Access Fund Scholarship, as well as various search and rescue organisations in and around the Seattle area. Why does it sort of make a good fit? Dick's is about Seattle roots. It's one of those institutions within Seattle. It's about simplicity. At the end of the day, it's just running and eating, and you're running from one location to the next location. And it's a tour of Seattle history and neighborhoods anchored by burger chains that everyone in Seattle knows. For locals, it's both a nostalgic and hilarious way to combine endurance running with a Seattle fast food pilgrimage. As I said, the race was founded by Ian Cox and his twin brother Connor. The idea started out as a fun last hurrah run on April 21st, 2018. Ian and Connor ran approximately 20 miles around Seattle, stopping at all 5 Dick's drive-in locations and eating there because Connor was moving away from Seattle. It was a lighthearted scene back then, but it turned in August 22 when Ian went on a solo track through the Cascades and didn't return. And after that, it became a memorial run towards him. So far, over the last few years, they've raised quite a bit of money for the local rescue organisations, as I said. Now, here are the timing and race rules. It's not a timed race. You won't get an official BQ time doing this race. There is no official time limit for how long you do it in, but they are going to stagger the heats. So they don't want too many people crowding up the sidewalks as they're running over there. So there'll be groups of about 75 people leaving the starting area every 15 minutes to avoid congestion and also congestion at the food stops along the way. Dick's stations, they have water and LMNT electrolyte packets along the way. You can pick up your race packet on the day of the event, so there's no expo for this one. It's not that advanced as a race to have an expo, but it is all there. They do have a vegetarian option if need be. You just need to let the organisers know what that vegetarian option should be, and they'll work it all out for you. But as I said, it's hills, hills, and hills, and street and traffic and navigation issues. There's not a lot of signage. There is a little bit of signage, but not too much through the areas there. But eating while running is part of the challenge. Digestive comfort, pacing with food breaks is critical. So take your time and manage it. Now, I also did a little bit of research around Seattle while I was there, and I noted that on Sunday, November 30, so a bit over a month after the Dicksathon, is the Seattle Marathon. They offer races of the full marathon, the half marathon, plus the 5 and the 10K races there. It's a big city race in the US, and it's likely to be cold and wet, and daylight is short at that time of year. But it looks like a great little marathon, the Seattle Marathon, as well as the Dicksathon as well. And if you are in Seattle, some things that you can go and see. Obviously, the most famous of the lot in Seattle is the Space Needle. It's been there for a long time, and it's a great area to go and get photos and get some good views. There's also Pike Place Market, which has local food, crafts, and seafood. There's a waterfront, and there's walks along the waterfront area. There's lots of museums. The Museum of Pop Culture, was that somewhere? I think a friend of ours went recently and said that it was a good place to go to. There's also Mount Rainier National Park nearby. There's also Green Lake or the Gasworks Park for relaxed runs as well. Lots of good food. They say lots of good coffee shops. I don't think they're good coffee shops. I don't drink coffee, but
I went to Seattle when I did New York, so a long time ago, and I ended up at Starbucks most days because Seattle is the founding place of Starbucks. And another good thing you can do in Seattle is visit the Boeing factory, and you get a tour of the Boeing factory, which was absolutely fascinating.
Yes, so that's the Dicksathon, guys. It sounds good. It sounds probably more like one you would love to do, Lucia, but it definitely sounds like one that is a bit of a fun and a quirky one to do along the way.
Definitely. I think even I'd have limits on the burgers, but we'll see.
They did say, I don't think I wrote it down here in the end, but they are 3 different types of burgers. So it's like I can't remember what they were, a Supreme, a Classic, and something else as their burgers. But looks like a fun one to do. It doesn't look like a big city or a big event, but it looks fun to do. Now, we've all talked about our races, Lucia. What have you got?
Well, have I got something in store for you guys and for our listeners? Now, we know I like a multi-race / multi-day event. So the first one I'm going to touch on, it was only announced last week. It's the inaugural Run Dollywood race weekend in April. That's right. You can run races at Dollywood, which is in, I'm going to say this wrong, Pigeon Forge in good old Tennessee. And it's a theme park dedicated to good old Dolly Parton. So it's set for April, and it's part of the park's spring flower and food festival. So there are races for adults and kids. And the reason why they've created the races is to bring together the joy of running with the beauty of Dollywood. So so some of the perks you'll earn exclusive inaugural race medals and event shirts. I can only imagine what the medals and shirts would look like. Live music and festive on-course entertainment. And you can race through a fun-filled course that winds its way through Dollywood parks and resorts and the surrounding community. So the races go over 2 days. So on the Saturday, April 25th, you've got the kids run, a 5K and a 10K. So unfortunately, you can't do 5 and 10. So the courses go through Dollywood theme park, giving runners a chance to experience the park like never before. So you get timed events, scenic routes through Dollywood, water stations, finisher medals for all participants. Then on the Sunday, it's the half marathon, and you'll get to experience a one-of-a-kind run through Dollywood theme park. Experience Dollywood like never before. So they do have a lot of like roller coasters and stuff like that. So it is quite interesting. One thing that caught my eye, and I may have to put it on the list, paces are available for the half marathon. And as our listeners know, I do a bit of pacing, so maybe that could be something for me to do next year, to pace at the inaugural Dollywood half marathon. I think that would actually be quite entertaining. And you can turn your race weekend into a full Dollywood experience, because there are hotels that you can stay on on site. And some of the benefits of staying on property, similar to Run Disney, you get convenient access to the bib pickup and race start lines, complimentary resort shuttle to Dollywood and Splash Country, which is their water park. You even get early park access on certain days as well. But you ask, what else can you do at Dollywood? Well, let me tell you.
What else can you do at Dollywood?
Tim, I'm so glad you asked. There's Dolly Parton's Stampede dinner attraction.
Whoa.
But wait, there's more. Let me tell you a bit more about it, because I can see how interested you are.
Look at Tony's face.
Say the Dolly Partons, like it's like a group or a herd. It's like a school of fish. It's the Dolly Partons. Is that what you're suggesting here?
Well, people probably would dress up as Dolly during the races, so it would be a group 100%. So, but
Okay.
Tony, it gets better. So, similar to
There's 3 knives.
but wait, there's more. You can do a Stampede dinner attraction, which is like, they do it at I think they do it at Goldie at one point, and I know they did it at Disneyland Paris. It's a dinner event. It's a family feast and a show for all ages, filled with thrilling riding horse stunts, spectacular special effects, musical, but mouth-watering 4-course feast, complete with dessert. And Tara, this is up your alley. Before the show starts, you can even meet the stars of the show, the horses.
Perfect.
But I know you guys are really interested in this. Some of the items, some of the food items, a mouth-watering tender whole chicken, pulled pork, hot buttered corn on the cob. Tony's shaking his head, thinking,
Is this before or after the race that you get to eat this?
well, it's something you can do on the side. So I'd probably do it after the race.
After the race, yes.
Yeah.
Tasty. They've put tasty herb roasted potatoes, unlimited Coca-Cola, tea or coffee, and there is also a race expo as well. Now, if that wasn't enough to tickle the taste buds, we know I like to do multiple events in a short time frame. The week before Dolly's run Dollywood, there's an event at Disney World, which is the Run Disney Springtime Surprise Weekend. So, and that's literally the weekend before. So you can do a 5K, the 10K, and the 10 miler, or you can do the challenge as well, which is the 5, the 10, and the 10 miler. But then if you're feeling really energetic, on the Monday after, so after the 10 miler, you can do yoga. You can do yoga in the park. Imagine all the medals you would get with that.
So you do all those races, then you fly down to Nashville and do the Dollywood half marathon and
Correct.
the 5K.
Correct.
Whoa.
And then attend the attraction after the half marathon.
That sounds like the perfect sort of weekend. Any excuse to get back to Nashville. I love Nashville. So
Never been on the list.
will Dolly be there personally handing out the medals?
Do you know what? I reckon for the first one she would be.
Yeah.
I'd be so tempted in doing it.
That sounds awesome.
Registrations haven't opened yet. It was literally just announced last week. So if there are any of our listeners interested, just go onto the Dollywood website and there's details on there. Now, guys, I'm just conscious of time because we are getting to the top of the hour. It's been a lot of fun hearing about all the different races and ones that we can do which are a little bit quirky. If only we had unlimited annual leave and, more importantly, money, that'd be that would help. But now it's that time of the week where we get a tip from Tim. So, Tim, what's your tip for the week?
Lace up tight, real snug. Feel the ground like a friendly hug. Run past worries, leave them behind. Chase the wind, see what you find. Tim's tip, just keep your pace. No need to win, no need to race. Feel the earth, feel the sky. Tim's tips does just give it a try.
My tip, Lucia, is just to have some fun, travel the world, go to new destinations, and visit the quirkier, lesser-known events. They're usually very fun and very well organised, and they provide memories that last a lifetime. And because they're smaller events, you tend to get to meet so many other runners and make many new friends along the way. So my tip this week is go out there and have a shot at some of these smaller, lesser-known events because they're quite good. They're quite well organised.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim. Now, this episode's about to end, but just before we do that, Tara, what's on for next week?
Excellent. So for next week, we have got a guest coming onto our show. We've got Angela Kite. Angela is a good friend of Tim and I, and I'm sure everybody on the show here has already heard about Ange. So she's going to talk about all things about kids and running and how to get your kids into running. So Ange is actually a run coach and a teacher, so she knows about all the things that need to happen there. And she would like to also talk about how you can continue those the love of running when you get it from a childhood and how to keep it going into adulthood. So Ange is a good friend of ours, as I said. She's completed numerous triathlons, Ironmans, and of course many marathons. She recently did her very first world major marathon though in Sydney and ran the last 20 of the last 22 Ks with me. So she's extremely knowledgeable and it will be a good chat. So as we keep saying, we're the only podcast with 4 7-star world major marathoners. And as usual, it will be another great episode and not one to be missed.
And
Awesome.
knowing Angela, she doesn't stop talking, so it'll be a very long episode.
And I also just want to shout out, I just got a message from our good friend Sharon. We were with her for her very first marathon in Disney World, and she is running Berlin, and she has just sent me a message asking if Tim and I can be on the start line with her again for Berlin because she must be feeling it. So if I could transport myself over there, Sharon, I would be. But yes.
Me too.
You'll be right, Sharon. You'll get it done.
She will.
Have faith. Well, thank you,
It'll be her
Tara.
second major for her too, I think.
Third. Oh, second? I don't know. Anyway, carry on. Back to you, Lucia.
Well, guys, that's it for this week's show. As usual, it's been fun chatting about these races, and hopefully we've stirred up some runcation juices with our listeners. And listeners, please let us know if you would do any of them, or if not, if you've got any others that you've heard of. We'd love to hear about them. Tara, Tim, and Tony, wish you all the best for this week. Can't wait to catch up with you guys and do it all again next week. We love making this podcast for you, our listeners. Let us know what you think of our race choices. As I've said, send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, or email us at happyrunning@flyingrunner.com. And as I said, if there's any races that you would do, please let us know. You can watch this episode on Spotify and YouTube, or listen on Apple, Amazon, and all major platforms. Every step counts. Keep running, and we'll see you next time on the Flying Runner podcast. Happy running.
Happy running.
Happy running.